The wheels of the carts clattered on the shiny floor, while voices crossed the air, as if each language told a different story. The smell of baked bread and freshly brewed coffee escaped from a nearby coffee shop, mixing with the cold, metallic aroma of the air conditioning. There, in the middle of that movie-like scene, I tried to appear calm, but inside, everything in me was vibrating. It was my first international trip. I, Raphael, 21 years old, carried a backpack on my back and a whirlwind of emotions in my chest. In my hands, my boarding pass trembled slightly, as if reflecting my state of mind. As I walked, trying to find the right gate, my eyes were drawn to a figure sitting in one of the nearby chairs. He stood out naturally. He must have been around 39 years old. Dark hair with discreet gray strands on the sides, a well-groomed beard, elegant posture. He wore an impeccable navy blue suit, like someone who carries the confidence of someone who has seen the world up close. He was holding a cup of coffee, calmly observing the airport's activity, as if he had been there 1,000 times before. Our eyes met for a brief moment. He smiled, one of those smiles that say little but mean a lot. I reflexively looked away quickly, pretending to fiddle with my phone, trying to hide the blush on my face. Minutes later, I heard that same soft but firm voice beside me. First international trip? I turned my face, and there he was. Yes, I replied, trying to sound natural. I'm traveling alone. He extended his hand. Marco, you get used to it over time. I've been through these corridors so many times that I almost feel at home. 7C was no habsectarius the 7 him, I smiled. The conversation started out unpretentious, but flowed with an ease that surprised me. We talked about travel, places he knew, and I had only seen in photos. Time seemed to slow down around him and, in a way, around me too. When the loudspeaker announced that my flight was delayed by 2 hours, I let out a slight sigh. Marco looked at me with a smile. Then we have time for a really good coffee. Come with me. We walked to a quieter, more secluded coffee shop with huge windows overlooking the runway. We sat by the window, watching the planes under the cloudy sky. We talked about everything. Dreams, plans, insecurities, choices. Little by little, what was just conversation turned into connection. He really listened to me. And there was something in his gaze, calm, steady, that made me feel seen, perhaps for the first time in a long time. When boarding was finally called, my heart sank. I didn't want that moment to end there, Marco noticed. Sometimes the best destinations in life aren't on a map, he said, with a look I'll never forget. They appear in the people we meet. During the flight, I boarded first. I found my seat and settled in, looking out the window, trying to calm my thoughts. The seat next to me was still empty, and I had no idea who would sit there. People began to board little by little, and then, there he was. Marco walked down the aisle with the same quiet elegance as before. When he saw me from afar, he smiled, and that smile, accompanied by the sparkle in his eyes, completely enchanted me. To my surprise, and, it seems, to his as well, the seat next to me was exactly his. When it's meant to be, there's nowhere to run, he said, laughing softly. Here we are again. He sat down, looked into my eyes, with that calmness that already disarmed me. And from then on, the flight became much more than just a simple trip. We talked for hours, as if time had forgotten to pass. Outside, the sky was already darkening. The cabin lights were gradually being turned off, leaving only a few soft lamps on, creating a peaceful, almost magical atmosphere. It was in this quiet atmosphere that he turned to me, leaned in a little, and said in a low, firm voice, "I've wanted to kiss you since the first moment I saw you." I felt a shiver down my spine. I smiled, nervously but sincerely. "So, why haven't you kissed me yet?" He didn't answer with words. He just moved closer, and then it happened. We kissed. A calm kiss, full of intention, which seemed to seal everything that had already been said between glances since the airport. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. That kiss started something I had never experienced before. A true love story. After that day, we exchanged contact information and started seeing each other whenever we could. Over time, what was a connection became a routine, and what was a routine became a feeling. 2 years later, we decided to move in together. Today, it's been 5 years since that flight. And, without exaggeration, They have been the best years of my life. Life has a curious way of surprising us when we least expect it. Sometimes, all it takes is being in the right place at the right time to cross paths with someone who changes everything. Love doesn't always start with big promises or grand gestures. Sometimes, it is born from a shy glance, an unpretentious conversation, or even a flight delay that seemed like just a setback. That's how it was for me. A simple encounter, amid the chaos of an airport, turned into the most beautiful story I have ever experienced. Because when it's meant to be, fate finds a way. And when two souls are ready, they recognize each other, even in silence. That's what love is. It's building little by little. It's choosing the other person every day, even when life changes course. And if there's one thing I've learned from all this, it's that sometimes the most transformative journey isn't to another country, it's within ourselves. And it often begins with an open heart to experience the unexpected. If this story touched you in any way, if it reminded you that love can arise in the most unlikely places, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here, each story is a reminder that the world is still full of true encounters waiting to happen. Leave your like, share it with those who need to believe in love again, and follow us on this journey through stories that warm the heart.